More than a month into the pandemic here in the United States, testing for the coronavirus remains a very serious problem because of critical shortages in supplies and staff. But now some private enterprises are stepping in to try to help. The actor and humanitarian Sean Penn is one of those people, teaming up with the city of Los Angeles right now. His disaster relief nonprofit Community Organized Relief Effort, or CORE, is working with LA's mayor, other city and county officials to offer free testing across California. Sean Penn is joining us right now. Sean, thanks so much for joining us. Truly a wonderful thing you and your friends and colleagues are doing. How many tests have you conducted so far? Tell us why it was so important for you to get so personally involved with this.
Well, the organization is, I think we are, I'm going to refer to a note to make sure I get this right. Yeah, so we're 2 weeks on the ground. As of this evening, we'll be north of 20,000 tested in the city of Los Angeles and on pace to do, with the current sites, 100,000 a month. We are looking to expand our partnership with Mayor Garcetti's team with the Los Angeles Fire Department. What happened, the reason was important to me is I think the same reason it's important to you to go in where you have access to a network to share the critical information. I had access to an infrastructure of disaster response with CORE, which is now 10 years of disaster response experience. And what was fortuitous is that, because certainly we'd never worked in California before. We had worked in the hurricane belt here in the United States. But because Mayor Garcetti and the LA Fire Department had such an extraordinary plan in place, and the fire department was already running the sites that we took, we were able to just be plugged into their system and relieve the firefighters with their exceptional skill sets and responsibilities on the street and the station, relieve them, get them back to serving people in the ways that they do best, the paramedics, et cetera. And because the lane of testing doesn't take an enormous amount of experience, we can train our testers very quickly and move people very deliberately through the drive-through test site and then come up with both surveillance and notification for people in their own circumstances and those with whom they're in contact.
Yeah, this testing is so critically important. As you probably know, Sean, the president just tonight repeatedly blamed governors for not making full use of coronavirus testing capacity in their states, even though many of those governors say they simply don't have enough supplies right now. As someone whose organization is conducting testing, what advice would you offer to folks who are watching right now?
I part ways with the president on this rather dramatically. I am seeing it day to day. I'm in contact with the governor, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles. I do know what's happening with these supply chain materials, supplies from the N95s that are so critical to the test kits themselves and to the lab turnovers of those results, et cetera, and all the things that will feed the scientists that will ultimately get us out of this mess with a vaccine. But this is also a kind of, we're going to have to take the silver linings on this. This is a mandatory rehearsal for things to come that we are going to have to deal with as a society. And so in that, I would suggest that people strongly advocate for the president to set up federal guidelines and to make a robust use of the Defense Production Act. This is the area, this is the single most important thing that could happen. And it also is a Hoover Dam-like project. This is something that can create current jobs in safe-made work sites, because we're learning how to do that. And so I think that's really what I would say to people is write the president and just say, please, get this country's greatness back into that workforce of defense production, of all these necessary life-saving critical materials so desperately needed by our nurses and doctors and those of us who complement the work that they do with the component of testing.
Finally, Sean, if people want to donate to your cause, if they want more information on how to get tested, where can they go?
Yeah, they can go to Core Response, so core like this, response.org/COVID-19.
That's an important place to go. Sean Penn, thanks so much for what you're doing. We're grateful to you and all your colleagues and friends. And let me just once again remind our viewers they can get more information about Sean's organization and the work it does at coreresponse.org/COVID-19. Sean, thanks very much for joining us.